that's weird. I can still add you.
Yeah, but I see you. Oh, I can see everything.
Oh, is this what you mean by this haze effect?
You just seen it.
It looks like your screen's covered in Vaseline.
Yeah, that's the one. It's not right in ships yet. When you're walking about on the moon, it's a bit better.
I want to see Melf covered in Vaseline.
I was waiting for that. Hello everyone, my name is Bob Mitch and welcome back to some more PTU goodness. We've had the X patch of the PTU pushed out just in time for Spoopy Night, Samhain, Halloween or whatever you want to call it, and despite a few bumps it's actually pretty stable and the servers are staying up longer for people to test stuff. As you can see from that little clip and me buzzing around Shubin here, the lifts on the 600i are performing a lot better and actually work now, and Daymar now seems to have a heat haze effect to make it look a bit more atmospheric. It's still jittery, especially when you're flying a ship, but hey, it actually looks pretty cool and it will make a nice atmospheric touch when it's dialed in properly. Owners of hammerheads and other large ships can rejoice as we can now spawn these in once more, and the dreaded kiosk bug where we got stuck looking at the screen was also reined in during the last build.
Jumping to Korea.
Better PK.
Said heat haze appears to phase in and out when you reach 5,000 meters in altitude, so at least it's at the point where it doesn't stick with you permanently, and I still think it looks really cool. In a fairly large change to the mechanics of quantum jumping that I'm sure will ruffle a few feathers, depending on the size of your ship and subsequently the size of its quantum drive, ships now have a maximum jump distance that they can do before you have to stop and let your drive cool down for a few moments before it can jump again, effectively making you jump across space in little hops to reach your destination, almost like the Wraith ships from Stargate Universe. This scales, of course. The bigger your ship, the bigger your quantum drive, the further you can go. Small ships, from my own testing in the PU so far, can jump roughly 800,000 kilometers before they stop, effectively Levski in 3 jumps. As you can see on the way to Levski, I got dumped in an asteroid field. Aside from that though, things are actually working pretty well for the most part. CIG now appear to be working on the smaller tweaks and fixes that are persisting across patches rather than having to hammer down on some of the massive issues we've seen in the other builds, and the object container streaming really seems to be persistent across the board. FPS AI is working well, as you can see in the video here, and even though there aren't interdictions between jumps in this build, likely due to the first implementation of this limited quantum jumping, enemy AR ships are back as well, and they really hurt. Bastards. I'd seen complaints on other videos and on Reddit and Spectrum as well that were showing annoyance and frustration because the build, which at the time was the W build, was so unstable that they weren't even going to bother updating their game and they'd wait for the next one. It might sound harsh, but if you're going to partake in the PTU, then please don't expect a finished build in any capacity. Stick with it, log into it, make it crash and then submit the report. The more we do this, the faster everyone gets a live build to play with that's stable across the board. The PTU is there to break it. Go break shit, have fun, and then we get a quicker live build. Let me know what you guys think about the quantum travel changes. I think it's quite neat. It actually makes it a real mechanic now instead of point at celestial object, initiate, jump and go to toilet. It also validates exploration ships a lot more because they will obviously have better drives to fire themselves into the deep black. Let me know your thoughts. Thank you for watching, folks. Here's hoping we get a live build sometime next week. I will see you next time.
Don't think I've seen your face around these parts before. We get our fair bit of traffic, but I make a point of knowing who's who. What brings you around?